Hello, this is Lisa Shea, and these instructions are for a cantaloupe peach juicing recipe. This is perfect for a breakfast or a snack, and it's full of all sorts of great nutrition for you. So we're going to start with some blueberries. We've got 83 grams of blueberries in here. Blueberries are full of antioxidants. It's always good to have blueberries in your diet. We're going to add in some almond coconut milk. This is an intriguing built-in blend. I provide the full spreadsheet with all the details, so if you want to substitute in almond milk or coconut milk or other milks, you can just change those numbers in the spreadsheet and have the different value. But in our case, we're trying an almond coconut milk. So we're going to use about a half a cup of this. Now we're going to put a smaller amount in first, so the half cup to start with, and then we're going to add some more later. So it's going to end up being about 203 grams total at the end. We're starting with 123 grams here, and then we're going to realize later that we'll need a little more extra. So I suppose you can add the full 203 grams now, or the smaller amount. It all depends on how thick or thin you want it. And again, you can use the spreadsheet to calculate your exact values based on how thick or thin you happen to like your shakes when you make them. Next up, we're going to add in the French vanilla whey powder. This adds protein, of course, and it also adds a nice sweetness to the flavor. So we're going to add 1 scoop. Next, we're going to add a half a banana, which will be 61 grams, and these happen to be organic bananas. I do recommend getting organic whenever you can, because it is better for you and better for the environment. It's an investment you're making in your own health. Yes, the cat is helping, making all sorts of growling noises that you can't hear because I'm doing the voiceover on this now. But I'm sure you can imagine the things she's saying. So here we go with our nice organic banana. And this is 61 grams. And then we add the banana and the ramekin to the blender, because you know ramekins want to be part of this too. But we will shake off the ramekin. These things happen. I will note, when you use your scale with the ramekin, make sure you always tare the weight of the ramekin itself, so that you're not including the ramekin's weight and the weight of the things that you're weighing. You want to make sure that you're only weighing the things inside the ramekin and not the ramekin itself. So now we've got a slightly messy ramekin, but that's alright. Next up, we're going to not put the peaches in yet. Nope, we're going to put the kale in. He's thinking about the peaches, but then he thinks that maybe he should put the kale in first. He's pondering. Oh, there he goes. Alright, we'll go back to the kale. Kale is great. It has all sorts of nutrition in it. You're going to use the kale as a ramekin cleaner. Kale is full of vitamin C, so this is also good for your health. So we had a handful of kale. We're going to do it in 2 batches and end up with 34 grams. So the first batch was 18 grams. Here comes the second batch, which is 16 grams. So lots of good vitamin C there. Next, we're going to do 2 frozen fruits. So we're going to start with the frozen peaches and then add in frozen cantaloupe. Now on one hand, ideally you want to eat fresh fruit. So if you happen to have a peach tree in your backyard, it's always best, of course, to go out and pick the fresh peaches. However, if the item in question is going to be shipped a long way to you, sometimes it's better to have it shipped frozen, because by the time the fresh thing gets to you, it's not quite ripe yet, or it's lost some of its nutrients in the processing part. So that was 66 grams of frozen peaches and 116 grams of frozen cantaloupe. So the thought is not to knee-jerk go in one direction or the other of fresh or frozen. If you can get perfectly fresh, that's key. But if it's going to be non-frozen and shipped to you a long distance, it might be better for them to freeze it immediately at the packaging location and then ship it to you frozen, so that it's stored in that near perfect state. Now, this recipe is going to be done in two parts because I like yogurt and Bob does not like yogurt. So technically, you could say that there's also going to be 1 container of Chobani mango yogurt added to this, which is over in the background there. But because he doesn't like it, he's going to pour his out and then add in half of the Chobani mango yogurt to my half, and then that'll be my part. So the values for his version, which is no Chobani yogurt, is 165.3 calories, 2.2 grams of fat, 25 cholesterol, 98.6 sodium, 25.4 total carbs, 3.1 fiber, 22.3 net carbs, 10.1 protein, and 112.9 vitamin C. And all of this is written down on the article version of this in text. So if you need to have it in text, then it's all written down for you, and it's also in the spreadsheet that you can download. So those are the values for his non-Chobani version, which is what we're blending right here. Then when we blend in the Chobani in a minute, we'll get the full version, and that's the one I'll be drinking, and that's 301.3 calories, 4.7 fat, 29.2 cholesterol, 153.8 sodium, 43.3 total carbs, 3.1 fiber, 40.2 net carbs, 21.2 protein, and 119.7% of your vitamin C. So with the 40.2 net carbs, this definitely isn't something for someone in induction phase of low carb or someone who's watching their sugar intake, but it is quite fine for someone who's on a maintenance level and is looking for a delicious, healthy way to get fruits into them. Because again, it's got good blueberry in it, kale, peach, and cantaloupe are all great for vitamin C. So this is the Boston Celtics. Oh, here we go with the Chobani. I love Chobani. For some reason, I don't like the flavors of most yogurts. They taste too tart to me. But I do like the taste of Chobani, which is a Greek yogurt. It's a different kind of yogurt, and it doesn't taste tart to me. So this is the kind of yogurt that I can tolerate. So he's getting a spoon or something, or I think a spatula. And I'll be back in a minute to add my Chobani to my shake. So here we go. Chobani has fruit on the bottom, so he's scooping out sideways so that he's sure to get his, or my, half of the fruit into the ramekin. So that's about half. It ends up being 70 grams. But for yours, you're probably making the full way. You're not having half and half. Although, who knows? Maybe you have a household where one person likes yogurt and one person doesn't like yogurt. Yogurt is great for you for all sorts of digestive reasons, so I do recommend trying different yogurts and seeing if there's a flavor that you happen to like. Because even within a brand, there may be flavors you like and flavors you don't like. For example, I really like the mango flavor of Chobani, but there's other flavors of theirs that I'm just not that fond of, which is okay. We all have different taste buds. So we have added in the Chobani. He's figuring out where to put his spatula. And then we don't need to fully blend it again because Chobani is squishy as it is, so we just need to up. And here we go with the, as I was saying, that I was just going to add a little extra milk in there to make it a little thinner because he thought it was a little too thick. So that's the total 203 grams that it's going to add up to that I calculated before. There we go. So you don't need to completely reblend this. You just need to do a little pulse to get it to mix in properly. But normally you would put the yogurt in at the beginning if everyone in the household was going to be drinking the yogurt. Oh, there we go. That is fine. And he's commenting that when he made his by just adding milk, you can see the milk sank to the bottom. So if you try to add in afterwards, you're going to need to manually stir it up. But if you blend it, of course, the blender mixes it all together for you. So now he's going to pour out my version that has the Chobani yogurt included in it. First he's going to clean off the lid to make sure that we don't lose any nutritious goodness. So the cost per serving on this is $2.13. Most of that comes from the protein powder, but the cantaloupe is also fairly expensive. Oh, and the blueberry. Oh, and the chobani. That's what I get for not reading this in order. So the chobani container is about $1 in here, and the blueberry amount that we put in there is about $1.30 for the whole thing. So those are the two expensive components. So here we have the end result. Taking a sip. Seems quite good. And then I will show you the finished result. And that's the Wachusett Brewing Company, which is a local brewery in Massachusetts. So thank you very much. Let me know if you have questions, and have a lovely day.